Hi lovelies, I'm Keishara Chisholm and welcome back to my channel, Keishara Creates. I am a certified therapeutic art instructor and life coach, and today I am back to do another painted affirmation with you guys today. So I'm so excited about today's affirmation. So today's affirmation is all going to be about growth and continuing to develop into the absolute best version of yourself. So today's affirmation is still going to be an abstract piece, but it's going to be a little bit more detailed than some of our other painting tutorials because I want this painting to symbolize growth. The first thought that came to my mind was some vines with some leaves. So we're going to go ahead and do the background, and then we're going to paint our leaves, and then we're going to put our lovely, beautiful growth affirmation over top of that. So first, let me show you my beautiful paint palette. Yes, it's a hot mess, but hey. So the colors that I'm going to use today are the primary colors of blue, yellow, and red. I also like to use a base green and of course black and white. So these are the colors that we're going to use today. And I always like to start my background first and then do everything over top of that. So I'm going to use my large flat brush and we're just going to go at it. We're going to paint our background first, and since we're doing leaves, I want to do the background blue and then put the leaves over top of that. So I like to mix up my colors first, so I'm just going to grab some blue and some white until I get a nice shade that I'm happy with. I like that. And still want it to have some texture, so I'm not going to paint it like smooth or anything. I'm just going to kind of do rough strokes of this blue, starting at the top and working our way down towards the bottom. Don't forget the top of your canvas and the sides as well. And I like it like that because I'm going to add some white to this too, so that it's lighter at the bottom, because that's the way the sky naturally is. It's typically darker at the top and then lighter towards the bottom. So I just stepped over there so I can make sure my sides look nice and good. I love using this large brush because, as you can see, it just speeds up the process. And these are acrylic paints. I like working with acrylic paints because it does not take a long time for it to dry. All right, so I'm just going to, I didn't even clean off my brush. I'm just going to go into the white and see how that kind of gives it a nice light blue tone. And since I still had my blue on my brush, you see how it's a nice blue, a nice light blue. Don't forget the sides, like I mentioned. And you guys, I have to take a second to show gratitude. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. Thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And thank you guys so much for booking your one-on-one therapeutic art sessions with me and your group painted affirmation parties. If you're interested in either one of those, go ahead and email me to get scheduled because I'm already getting booked up for the month of September. And if you are interested in purchasing any of my paintings or any of my other merchandise, then check out my website. All of that is linked below. So had to get that out the way. Had to tell you guys thank you. I appreciate you guys. I would not be able to do this each and every day and share my creativity with you guys and help to inspire you guys through my art without your support. So thank you. Oh, and thank you for your donations. Thank you. If you would like to donate, the link for that is down below as well. So thank you guys so much. All right, so I'm just going to spread out, and see, I'm not doing smooth, consistent strokes. I want this to have texture to it, and it's going to be covered up a lot with some of the vines. So I'm kind of crisscrossing it. I want the strokes to kind of be here, there, everywhere. Look how fast that was. Lovely. Now, one of the beautiful things about acrylic paint is, like I mentioned before, is that it does not take a long time for it to dry, which makes it easier when you do your painting in layers, which is why I usually go ahead and paint the entire background first, because it dries pretty quickly, and then I can just start painting over top of that. And since we are doing our leaves, our vines, and all of that in green, I'm just going to go ahead and start creating those, because of course it takes blue to make green, so it's not going to mess up any of the color tones or anything like that. So I am going to use a smaller round brush, and I'm just going to take some green over to the side. I'm going to grab some blue, a little bit of yellow, and a teeny tiny bit of red. And we're going to mix it up, and see what lovely shade of green we get. Ooh, that's pretty. I think I like that. I might add a little bit more, just a little bit more red. The more red you add into green, the deeper that green is going to get. If you feel like you add too much red into your green, then add some more green and some more yellow into it to brighten it up. Speaking of that, I think I might add some more yellow into this too. Yep, there we go. I like that. And I'm going to add just a little bit more water to this to thin this paint out a little bit, because it's kind of thick. All right. So I'm just going to make some lines like this, some little vines. And they're not all going to be the same length or anything like that. And you see, I'm going over them twice. And I'm just going over these. And we'll do some shorter ones too. And I'm not going to go overboard with these, because we're going to do some vines in reds and oranges too. So I want to do one layer and then the next, and so on and so forth. All right, don't forget about the tops and the sides. If your vines kind of go towards the sides, then make that uniform. And we're going to do very simple leaf shapes. So we're going to do like a parentheses and then connect it. And I'm just going to add some here and there. I'm not trying to make them overly realistic. As long as you can tell they're leaves, that's all that matters. So we are making some leaves. And the leaves are going to start to overlap each other and all that beautiful stuff. Grab some more water. All right, so see, I'm kind of just adding leaves here, there, everywhere. I haven't filled in the leaves yet, because I'm going to add some touches of yellow inside of them to kind of blend them together and give them more color dimension to them. And see, I'm not making sure that they're perfect or anything. I'm just adding leaves to these vines. I'm not making sure they're all the same size or anything like that. I just want them to look like leaves. As long as they look like leaves, we're winning. So the affirmation for today that I'm going to put on this painting is growing stronger. Growing stronger, because in this journey of life, you want to continuously be growing and developing and becoming the absolute best version of yourself. As long as you are learning and growing and improving, you are living a successful, prosperous life. You want to make sure that you continue to grow and explore and learn new and interesting things, not just about the world, but also about yourself as well. So it's always fun to try new things, learn new things. And this affirmation could mean multiple things to many different people. So the growing stronger could mean growing stronger in your identity of accepting yourself, or growing stronger in your finances, or growing stronger in your business relationships, or growing stronger in your relationships with your friends and your family, so on, so on, and so on. All right, so I'm going to grab some yellow and I'm just going to mix it into that green that we were already using. And I'm going to plop some of this green inside of all of these leaves. So, and see, I'm just throwing it in the middle, not being overly particular. When it comes to these painted affirmation tutorials, the most important thing is about the affirmation and the beautiful energy that you put inside of these beautiful paintings, more so than it has to do with the detail or technique. So, when it comes to this beautiful painting, I want you to focus your attention on saying the beautiful affirmation either out loud or internally in your head with I am growing stronger, to whichever that resonates with you. Like, I am growing stronger each day. I am growing stronger in my self-love journey. I am growing stronger in my business. I am growing stronger in my family relationships. I am growing stronger in my confidence. I am growing stronger in my knowledge. I am growing stronger in my fitness, or whatever it is that you feel like you are growing in, or whichever situation that you want to have growth in. The best way to start that process is by speaking that beautiful affirmation over yourself to declare that you are already growing in whatever area you feel like you need growth in. The first thing I thought of when I thought of this beautiful affirmation, of course, is growing. I am growing stronger in my confidence each day. That's what came to mind for me. But this beautiful affirmation can resonate in so many wonderful areas of your life. So I'm just adding some more green over here. And I'm going to touch up these vines. And see, I'm kind of just roughly touching them up. I'm not making them perfect. And kind of outlining the edges of these leaves with this green as well. So, going over the vines and touching up the sides of the leaves with this green as well. See, piece of cake, piece of pie. Not hard at all. Not hard or difficult or challenging at all. And remember to keep your thoughts focused on that lovely affirmation of I am growing stronger. I am growing stronger in my faith. I am growing stronger in my wisdom, in my knowledge. I'm growing stronger in my finances. I'm growing stronger in my confidence. I am growing stronger in my relationships with my family. I am growing stronger in whatever thought comes to mind for you. With that beautiful affirmation, go ahead and speak that out loud over yourself. I'm going to add a little bit more red into this, deepen this green up some more. There we go. And still, same thing. Nothing's changed. And see, I'm not making sure all the vines or leaves are perfect. Like I said, as long as they look like leaves, that's all that matters. And I actually think I'm going to do the rest of the vines in like a orange tone. That way I can incorporate yellow and red into it without doing, you know, too many different layers or vines of leaves. So what I'm going to do is after I finish with these, I'm going to hit it with my handy dandy blow dryer real fast. Dry it off for a little bit. And it won't take long for it to dry. There's not a whole bunch of layers of paint on here at all, so probably only take about less than a minute, honestly, to dry it off enough to where I'd go ahead and start the leaves over top of it, the other color leaves. All right, I think that's good. Perfect. Now let's blow this baby dry. So I got my lovely blow dryer, so just bear with me shortly while I blow dry this guy. Excuse me, I need to move my canvas over just slightly. There we go. And let's go. All right, I think that is good and dry enough. And of course I noticed one little baby leaf right here that I neglected, so I'm just going to fill that baby in real fast with some green, and we're going to keep it moving. We'll mix up our orange next. So I'm just going to fill that in with some green. And we'll leave it at that. So we are going to make an orange. So I'm going to use the same brush that I used with the green, but of course orange is yellow and red, so I'm going to grab some yellow paint and gradually mix some red into it. And believe it or not, I'm going to add a little bit of green into this to make a nice deep orange. Maybe a little bit more, and some more red into there, and some more yellow. And see, I just keep playing around with those colors until I get that shade that I'm looking for. Let's add some more yellow and a little bit more red. And I think I like that. actually think I'm going to switch to a slightly smaller brush. Slightly. I've got all these brushes in here. I can never find the one quick enough when I need it. All right, we're just going to use this brush. I'm not going to waste all day looking for a brush. All right, so see, we've got a nice, pretty dark orange, and I'm just going to make some vines of the orange as well. I'm going to do the vines first, and then I'm going to go back and add the orange leaves. And see, I'm going right over top of the green. Don't be scared. Just go ahead and paint the vines. And if you don't want to do all the other colors, if you just want to start with the green, you're more than welcome to do so. But I just love beautiful fall colors, especially with leaves. So I knew I wanted to add some oranges and some reds. Just got some more water on my brush, that's all. And see, I'm not being too picky. I'm not trying to make sure the lines are perfect or anything like that. I'm just making the line, going over it one more time just to kind of thicken it up. That's about it. Nothing too fancy or too complicated. And remember, all of these lovely leaves are going to represent this beautiful positive affirmation of us growing stronger. If you want to challenge yourself, you can actually think of each leaf as an area in which you want to develop that mindset of being strong in. That would be a fun little activity that you could do. And I love painting or drawing or writing my affirmations because not only does it work instantly while you're writing the word and saying it, but it also adds as a beautiful visual reminder each and every single time that you have the opportunity to see this beautiful affirmation that you created. All right, and we'll do one more right around here. Bring this one down a little bit further. There we go. And go back over top of this. All right, and remember to carry it up off to the top and the sides if your vine happens to go up to the top or off to the side. Now we're going to do the same thing we did with the green. We're going to make our beautiful leaves. So we're just randomly going to place our orange leaves. We're doing it the same way we did with the green, whereas we didn't fill them in. We just went ahead and threw them on there kind of randomly. Doesn't matter if they crisscross. Yes, they're going to go right over top of the green ones that you placed. So don't be afraid, be brave. Remember, we're growing stronger, so just go ahead and add your leaves with confidence. Thin this out some more. Whenever you add yellow paint to a color, it gets kind of thick. So the same with white and black too. So you kind of have to dilute it some. Bring that leaf off to the side. And there's no like perfect amount of leaves to add on each one or anything like that. Just add some leaves to each one of the vines. That's all. That's all we're doing. Nothing too complicated. And after we're done with these orange vines and leaves, we are going to add just a few more green ones over top of this too, so that they blend nicely together. So just adding more little orange leaves. That's all that I'm doing. And remember to focus your attention on our beautiful affirmation of I am growing stronger. However that resonates with you, whatever that beautiful affirmation means to you. Which areas do you already feel like you are strong in? Which areas do you want to manifest or attract more strength in? What thoughts come to mind when you think of the beautiful thoughts that come along with the thoughts of I am growing stronger? All right, so I'm going to take some yellow, and I still got some orange on my brush, so you see how it kind of changes the tone. That's exactly what I want. And just like we did with the green, throw that yellow right into the middle of each one of these orange leaves. Piece of cake, piece of pie. Not hard at all. We are giving life to growing stronger each and every day. That's my interpretation for this painting, for this beautiful affirmation. So that was the idea that came to mind when I thought of the affirmation for today. Giving life to growing stronger, because we are growing stronger. We're giving life to that thought process and that identity that we are strong and we are capable. We are developing our skills. We are strengthening our skills. We are getting better and better each and every day. We are growing daily, growing in strength and confidence, growing in discipline and determination, growing in motivation, growing in love, growing in purpose, whatever that means for you. There we go. And see, doesn't take too long. And what I'm going to do is, instead of going back over these with orange, I'm going to go over these with a red. And that way we incorporated all of those tones. I'm going to blow dry this off again, do just a few more green vines, and then we can write our beautiful affirmation. Then we'll be done. And it might sound like a lot, but it's not. Look, we've already done 2 layers of vines. We're doing good. Be proud of yourself. And see, I did not want to do this as a really detailed tutorial because I still wanted it to be mainly focused on the affirmation. However, if you are interested in some more detailed or more realistic painting techniques and tutorials, I have tons of those on my channel as well. So if you do want to learn how to paint flowers or anything like that, I have the tutorials for you there as well. So I'm just going to grab some red and let's put some green into it to deepen it up. There we go. And I'm gonna get a little bit more yellow. I always run out of yellow paint. I must like yellow a lot because I use a lot of yellow paint. So let's grab some more yellow. All right, add just a touch of yellow into this red, but I want a nice rich red. So just a touch. Yeah, that's pretty. All right, same thing, and kind of thin it out some. You see how I twist my brush into the paint? And I'm just going to kind of roughly outline the vines in red. See, I'm not making sure I outline it perfect or anything like that. I'm just roughly outlining it in the red, adding hints of that red shade to these as well. And see, I'm just roughly adding some of the red to the vines first. I'm not making sure I perfectly outline them or anything like that. Then on the sides of the leaves, just like we did with the green ones. And that's it. That's all we're doing. Piece of cake, piece of pie. Nothing too complicated. Get some more water, thin this out just a little bit more. There we go. And just kind of outline around the orange leaves with this red to tie those shades together. All right, adding accents of the red to the vines first, and then on the edges of the leaves. And I think I am going to go back in with some of that orange and just kind of add touches of them inside the leaves, but that's all. All right, beautiful. So I still got some of that orange already mixed up. Matter of fact, let me get some more yellow. Use some of that red that I made. There we go. Same exact orange. Beautiful. And kind of touch up the middles quickly with this orange. See how that starts to blend in together? Pretty, pretty. And see, painting is all about layers. Layering, layering, layering. That's why I love to do my painting tutorials, especially my more realistic ones, in real time, so people can really see the amount of time and detail that it goes into them. Because I've been teaching painting classes and tutorials for a while now, and people typically automatically, as soon as they put down the first shade, think that their painting is horrible and that it's no good, when they just don't realize how many layers it takes to get that beautiful effect. It's not just the one, oh, I put down the first shade and it's a masterpiece. That's not how it goes. And that's with anything. It doesn't matter if you're using colored pencils, markers, whatever. It takes layers. Art is about layers. Layering, layering, layering. Just wanted to check that one since it's going off to the side. And see, I'm not being overly particular about it being perfect. I'm just getting a nice blend of the colors. And I'm going to add some random touches of the orange on the vines too. Just randomly here and there. And might go back and add just a little bit more yellow in some of these leaves while they're still all wet, so they'll blend nicely. And see, I'm just taking some of the yellow paint. Didn't even clean my brush off. I'm just gonna add some little touches of that yellow too. Make sure nicely blended, nice color variation. I want to clearly see orange, yellow, and red in these leaves, so I'm just adding some yellow too. Add some other accents of color, and I'm liking it. So I'm going to blow dry this again, might for a little bit longer, just because we did a good amount of layers in these leaves. It won't take too long though, and then we'll do maybe 3 or 4 vines of the green over top of that. Just that way it would blend a little bit better. All right, and I think I like that, just like that. So let me get my blow dryer again. And bear with me. You want to stick and stay with me, because everyone that stays is going to have some beautiful, loving energy coming their way. Whoever finishes this beautiful growth affirmation with me. Perfect. See, I promise that didn't take too long. All right, and honestly, since this is a more detailed tutorial, we are making good time. It might take us an hour at the most to do this one. So bear with me. Sorry, I need some tea. All right. So I'm going to mix up a nice dark green. So remember when we did that earlier, we just used green and red. I'm just going to use green and red because I want this to be a nice dark green. I'm not going to add any yellow to it like I did last time because I want this to be a darker green than the green we used last time. All right, and you see how thick this is? Grab some water and then this paint out. So I'm taking the time to make sure the paint is the consistency that I want. That way I don't have to keep stopping and adding water to it, and just go ahead and do it now. There we go. Add a little bit more water. There we go. There we go. All right, perfect. So I'm not going to add a whole bunch of green since we already have some green. I just want to break up some of the orange that we have, so it doesn't just look like the orange vines are just sitting right on top of the other green ones that we have. And just like before, see how I'm going over the vines twice? And I'm just adding them wherever I feel like I need to break up some of this orange. And I'm not going to go overboard because remember, we're still going to add the leaves too. And keep your mind on that beautiful affirmation of growing stronger. Say it to yourself internally or verbalize it, saying that I am growing stronger and stronger each day. I am strong and confident. I have strength. I am growing and developing. All of those beautiful things are what just came to my mind when I just said that lovely affirmation. So speak those beautiful things over yourself. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of the accomplishments that you have made. Celebrate yourself and all your victories, no matter how strong, no matter how small they may seem. Celebrate yourself. Be proud of yourself and your growth and your accomplishments. Don't wait for other people to celebrate you or to even notice the positive change or attributes that you have made. Celebrate your own self. You don't need anybody else to tell you how fabulous you are, as long as you already know it for your own self. That's all that matters. I think I'm going to add one little one here. I said a little, but I ended up making it a little bit longer. All right, now let's add the leaves. And believe it or not, we'll be done with all of these vines. And I'm not going to do a whole bunch of leaves in this green, because I really just did these to kind of break up the orange and red that we did earlier. So I'm going to be a little more sparse with these. And see, this is why I used a darker green, because it would stand out even further against the green that we already used. There we go. Adding lovely dark green leaves to these beautiful vines. Put one right there. And we'll do one right here. Perfect. So I'm just going to take some of the regular primary green, mix it into that dark green that we had, and a little bit of yellow, and throw that right into the middle of those dark green leaves. Same thing that we did with the rest of them, with the other two colors of leaves. I don't know why, but I feel like this is deja vu. Just filling in all of these leaves with that green. I'm gonna grab some more yellow. We're gonna add some of that to these too. See, since that green is still wet, how that blends, it just brightens it up some in the centers. See what I mean about layers? It's all about layers. Painting takes layers, layers of colors to get that desired effect that you want. Layers, layers, layers. All right. Clean that brush off. And get some more green and some more red. It doesn't need to be as deep as it was earlier, but just like we did with the rest of them, we're going to touch up the vines and the sides of the leaves with that same shade that we first sketched them out with, okay? All right, and see, I'm just roughly throwing some accents of this color down. Get the paint, there we go, and just throw some water on there so I can thin it out. Perfect. And maybe a little bit more. There we go. And the same thing that we did with the rest of them. Kind of touch up the vines with some of this green and the sides of the leaves as well. And remember, this isn't about perfection or about it looking overly realistic. As long as you can tell that there are vines of leaves, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. If they look like leaves, you have succeeded. So we are using this visual representation for us growing stronger each and every day in whichever area we need that confirmation in. This visual reminder will be that lovely confirmation of growing stronger, of that you are strong. Lord, and I dropped my paintbrush. There we go. That you are strong, that you are capable, that you are growing, that you are getting better each and every day. That you are confident, you are capable, you are able. All of those beautiful things come to mind when I think of the affirmation, growing stronger. And wait till you see at the end when we do all of our lovely highlights with the black and white too. You'll be surprised how that ties everything together. All right, and I think that's good. I think that is nice and good. All right, gonna blow dry one more time. Last time. But we're still making good time. Might go a little bit over an hour, but not too much. Now that's good and dry. Probably drier than it needed to be, but I wanted to make sure it was nice and dry because the banner that I'm going to do is white. And I'm just going to do it in the center. I'm not going to try to make it a perfect straight line or anything like that. Sorry, my throat is dry. And I'm going to use a flat brush for this. And it's just called a flat brush because the tip of it or the edge of it is flat. So, just going to get some white paint and I'm just going to eyeball a banner. Let me add some water because that paint is really thick. And that will help it spread out better. There we go. There we go, and I'm just gonna fill this in with white. Go over it again. Alright, and I'm gonna leave that alone. I'll let that dry a little bit, and I'm gonna get a smaller brush, a liner brush, and I'm gonna add some little white accents to these little vines and these leaves. While we're letting that dry. But first, let me get a little bit more white paint. All right. So I'm just going to add some random highlights of the white around some of the leaves and some of the vines, just wherever I randomly feel the need. And I'm adding highlights to the orange ones as well. And see, I'm not outlining anything, I'm adding highlights. It's amazing what highlights and shadows do to a painting. It pulls it all together, finishes it off. It actually, it's almost like it's magic. It's like it changes the whole effect of the painting or the piece. It helps for some of the other details to stand out, especially when you do the contrast of the black against the white. It's the finishing touches that brings it all together. And we are using this beautiful representation of these lovely leaves and vines as us growing stronger each and every day in our accomplishments. Growing stronger in our confidence, growing stronger in our self-love, growing stronger in wisdom and knowledge, growing stronger in our finances, growing stronger in our relationships. Like I mentioned, however that affirmation resonates or articulates to you. There we go. Adding some here, there, everywhere. All right. Perfect. So clean this brush off. Let's do the same thing with the black. First, I'm going to outline this guy with black. And black is just like white paint. Let's thin it down a good amount first. Let's just dab some water on there. There we go. And mix it around so we get the consistency that we want. You want like an ink consistency, but if you put your paintbrush like this, you don't want it so thin that there's water dripping down. All right, so I'm just going to outline around this. I'm not trying to make sure the line is perfectly the same width or anything like that. I just want it to look nice and pretty. And then we'll add our accents of the black to all the leaves. And then we will write our affirmation, and then we will be done. And typically, my painted affirmations don't take quite this long, but I wanted to do something that was a little bit more detailed for this affirmation in particular. For the affirmation of growing stronger, I wanted to put more time and effort into that one. And I knew it was going to take longer as soon as I came up with the idea of doing leaves. Now, I could have did like a painting of like just 3 or 4 random larger leaves, which still would have been pretty, but I really wanted them to be on the vine to represent the beautiful word for growing or for growth. So there we go. Let's see if there's any areas that I want to touch up. All right, get a little bit more water for this black because I want these outlines to be thin. I don't want globs of black paint on my vines and my leaves. So the same thing we did with the white, we're going to do accents of black too. And that will be the finishing touches, and then we will be done. And you don't want to just cover up everything you did with white. You legitimately just want to add accents to it the same way you did with the white highlights. You want to do your shadows with the black the same way. And see how much more detailed that makes all the vines and the leaves? Isn't it crazy how that pulls it all together just by adding little teeny tiny touches of white and black? Magic of painting. Completely changes it. gonna keep going, keep going. Focusing my mind and my attention on that beautiful positive affirmation of growing stronger. We are growing stronger with each one of these leaves and each one of these vines. Growing stronger in our identity, in our faith, in our accomplishments, in our self-care, in our finances, in our relationships, in whatever way, shape, or area that we need or that we are growing stronger in. That's what we are representing with this beautiful piece, this beautiful painted affirmation. All this love and positive energy that we put into this beautiful painting. For your reminder of your strength and your process and your progress and your growth in all areas of your life, whichever that means or resonates to you. You have to make these affirmations personal for you and your purpose and in your journey. And see, this didn't take long at all. Then we just have to write out our affirmation, and then we are done. Then we will be done. So see what we created? Look at what you guys did. We're almost done. Remember that you are strong, you are capable, you are improving and growing and getting stronger and wiser and better each and every day. Use this as a reminder to believe in yourself and to be proud of yourself. Celebrate yourselves and your accomplishments and your achievements. And take a step back. Oh, that's pretty. See how much detail the black and white added to that? All right, so I'm just writing the affirmation, and I'm not doing it in cursive or anything like that. I'm just writing it in print in my own handwriting. So growing, and then we're going to do stronger. And usually I get all fancy and do cursive, but I already took up a good amount of y'all's time today, so I didn't want to get that detail. So I'll go over the letters one more time. And I kind of like it looking kind of rustic like that, so I'm not going to try to make it perfect. I like it like that. And we are almost done with this beautiful affirmation for growth and strength. I'm gonna add some white right here because there we go. Perfect. So this is it for you guys today. This is our beautiful affirmation for strength and for growth. I hope that it filled you guys with joy and optimism and confidence and encouragement to continue to go forth and be the absolute best version of yourself. I love you guys, and I will see you guys soon. And remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out my website to purchase any of my artwork or my other merchandise. And email me if you want to do a one-on-one therapeutic art session, or if you want to schedule a group painting class or party with you and your friends or colleagues or anyone along those lines. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Be blessed.